Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. So welcome, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you. We are bringing you the authentic self. I'm bringing you the world's best leading practitioners, influencers, coaches, healers, small business consultants from around the world. And we're going to be talking about the authentic self. This is in honor of one of our very own, the authentic life coach here, our authentic coach, and that's Annie McKinnon. So right away, I'm going to be bringing Annie up to the stage. She didn't even know that we were going to be doing this podcast in honor of your authentic self. This is a message that she's really passionate about. What does it really mean to be the authentic self? What does that really mean? So we're bringing up this topic today with all these incredible people from around the world, and we're going to ask each person, what does it mean to be your authentic self? I'm Kornelia Stephanie, founder of the KS Media Group and app, and make sure that you download this app on your phone. Go to the App Store, go to your Play Store, and download the app. Very soon, you're going to be seeing us roll out the Beloved 7-Day Experience that's going to give you the opportunity to connect with these people here every single day. For now, let's go back to the topic at hand. Welcome to the show today. And Annie, come up and talk to us about what does the authentic self mean to you, and why are you so passionate about this message?
Sure. The authentic self to me is about, and I have gone through this journey, is about having to go back to the beginning and unveil, unlearn, and get rid of those beliefs that that were forced on me by other people that were close to me, whether it be my parents or close people around me. Get rid of them and then start relearning what it is I truly believe and value for myself, so that I can go out into the world just simply being me.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Cyndi Lynne, welcome. What does your authentic self mean to you? How do you live the authentic self?
I think to live a very authentic life, you have to embrace the evolution of yourself. So you can be truly authentic in the way that you lived and believed 2 years ago. And you can be very authentic today. And those lives, those feelings, that may be different today. So being authentic means allowing yourself to evolve and grow and change with new information and new experiences, integrating all of that into your life.
Thank you, Cyndi. I love that so much. It's always bringing it back to the integration. And I also love what Annie said of letting go of who you thought you were and then bringing it back to who you are today. And that is a continuous unfolding of becoming. What I know that for me, being the authentic self really requires that I am vulnerable and that I am in my truth with myself, in my self-love, in my experience. And when I bring my vulnerability out in the open, to revealing it to myself, but also with the people that I love, and also with how I show up on the platforms and the different things that I do, that revealing my authentic self requires that I'm also vulnerable. So that's what that means to me, because vulnerability is strength. It's strength, and it is being vulnerable and being courageous. That's what the authentic self means to me. What about you, Peggy? What about you? What does the authentic self mean to you?
Having an authentic self means to me that you are letting go of the expectations that others have of you and living the kind of life that you want, examining your belief system and figuring out, is it really what you believe, or was it something that was ingrained in you from an early age?
Wonderful. Yes, absolutely. It's again examining, because a lot of people, they just, I don't know, I've been talking to people recently that say, I just can't stand being around phony people these days. Or people that are putting on a masks and saying, they are a certain way, because people really want the truth. They really want the real thing. They really want the depth. So we just can't tolerate it anymore to be around people that are not their authentic self. And that's why we're sharing with you today all of the ways in which the authentic self can show up and what it means to each of us. Pearl, what about you? What does the authentic self mean to you?
So for me, the authentic self is being okay with not having to please everybody else. Like being okay to put yourself first, because when you can do that, then you're taking care of the others that come that you are responsible for better, and not feeling guilty when you do that. Because if you continue to put others first, then what are you doing for yourself? So as you do that, you also set up those boundaries, and those boundaries, you have control when the fence is open or not opened. And so that's, for me, is not having to worry about being that people pleaser, putting yourself first without guilt.
Oh, that's really good. Not being a people pleaser. That gets a high note on that one. Yeah, certainly. And definitely, because we were a people pleaser before, so we can be approved of and accepted by other people. But now, if we're really approving and accepting of ourselves, we're not pleasing the other people anymore. We're looking within and approving of the self, and then bringing that self to all that we relate with. I love that one. What about you, Matt? What about you? How does the authentic self show up in your life? What does it mean to you?
Sure, thank you. And I guess I would kind of put it through the idea of communication and truth in communication, and something of a balancing act. You have certain types of communication where they strike me as inauthentic because you hold back, because you're almost afraid to share. And I've seen this in various places. I'd say the Pacific Northwest culturally has a lot of this. People are oftentimes afraid to say what they might feel, because worried that they might be rude or untoward in some way. So they'll be quiet, they'll hold back, which actually really inhibits communication. You just want to know what they think. So that's the one kind of thing to watch out for. On the other end, you have the plenty of speaking direct truth. Having lived and worked outside of Washington, D.C. for 5 years, I got a whole lot of that style of communication there. But unfortunately, it was paired with people not listening, being domineering, bullying, bull rushing through. And that's kind of like the other end. So you're getting this big regurgitation of what they think, but there's no back and forth. There's no kind of sharing of self, which is also kind of the other thing. So ideally, I think somewhere in the middle between those two, where you're being sincere, but also open in how you're communicating.
I love that. Where would we be if we practiced listening more and being willing to build bridges instead of creating division? So the authentic self is living in balance and is listening, being present, not holding back out of fear that you're going to be, whatever, out of fear that people are not going to like you or they don't want to have anything to do with you, but that you're expressing your real truth and your real self, and that you're not holding back. Such an important part. Thank you for that, Matt. That's really good. What about you, Christina? What do you want to say about meeting the authentic self?
For me, being authentic myself would be being me follow my beliefs and passions, but without hurting anybody on the way.
That's good. That's awesome. That's clear. Yeah, that's really good. What about you, Julie?
Well, Cornelia, thank you so much for this question. It is so apropos that you were asking. Today, I was my authentic self as I am every day, but mostly today because I'm visiting my sister and my niece, and I had the music turned up. And as I was getting ready, I was dancing and singing at the top of my lungs. And for me, being my authentic self is no matter where I am going to show up in my life and sing at the top of my lungs, not care if I sound great, not care who is around me or not listening, but really just being me. And I think that sometimes we want to curate who we are. We want to curate the experience of our authenticity because we're not sure how people are going to react. But being authentic means not asking permission of the world to be you. And for me, that's something that has taken a long time to be able to learn, but I do it because I am the best version of myself today. And I want the world to be okay with that, just as I am, because I have gifts, and I want the world to know that whatever I have is for them as well to receive. And whoever is not ready or open to accept me as I am, it's okay, because there is somebody else who is my people, and I will receive them as well, just as they receive me. So that is what the authentic version of myself is the person that is received and also is okay with being who she is, flaws and all. So thank you.
Yeah, I love that so much. I love you singing your song and not caring if you sing off key and dancing and having a good time. And by being who you are in this authentic expression, you give other people permission to do the same. So you're there at celebrating your niece, and people are witnessing you and seeing you, how you show up. And now all of a sudden they see, oh, look at how Julie is singing and how she's dancing and how she's having a good time. And that also gives other people permission to do the same thing. And it's really interesting, because we are all human, right? And all of us here are uh, in the process that we've had to learn to become the authentic self. And so we had to learn to look at our humanity, learn to look at our beliefs and what our expectations are, and how do we relate with other people? Do we go too far over to the left, too far over to the right? And I'm not talking about politics here, but I'm talking about balance. And do we bring ourselves into the equation? And nowadays, in today's world, we just can't tolerate any more fakeness. I mean, we have to be real. That's our new earth. That's the heaven on earth that we're creating, is being real with each other, making room and, space to be heard and to really find out what somebody's feelings are, and what you're going through, or what's important to you, what your values are. That's all part of becoming the authentic self. Some people are not going to like it, and some people are going to leave your life when you become more of who you are, the authentic self. What about you, Nadine? What does the authentic self mean to you?
Thank you, Cornelia. I love this question. It's just so real, isn't it? And you've got the perfect group of people here to discuss it. For me, it was a bit of a long time coming to find my authentic self. I was that eternal people pleaser. I was always worrying about what everyone else thought. I could never sing out loud and not worry about what was happening. I can now, which is lovely. But what I do to tune into my authentic self is I pause. I'm big on that little, just taking a moment. I tune into me. I don't know if you can see, I put my hands on my heart. I just take a few breaths and I ask myself, what do I want? What do I need? Maybe what do I want to say? I just take a moment in stillness, in peace, to just think about it, tuning into me, my self-care, what I want and what I need, and letting go of the control, if you like, of actually thinking about, if I do this, this is what people are going to think. So it is a little bit of letting go of control for me, as well as letting go of my inhibitions about, I can just be me. So setting boundaries, being clear with them, clear with communication, as has been said already. And yeah, just tuning into me whenever I have, you've heard me say this before, my wobble, whenever I have a moment, if I just tune into me, I know what to do and I know it's okay. I give myself permission. So that's what I love to do for myself, and that's what I share with everybody that I work with. So I love that. So thank you for that question.
Yeah, I think that's a really good reminder, is to take the pause. That's where the shift can happen, is when we do take the pause, when we take a moment to step back and possibly interrupt a pattern. And instead of, the way that we normally would respond, that we can actually step back. So that's beautiful. And now I want to ask Phil. Phil, hi. What about you becoming your authentic self? What does that mean to you?
Yes, thank you. What an awesome topic. And I think of following your heart and your dreams being my authentic self. And I know when I first starting off out of school, the picture was painted, get a good job and go out and make a career of things, work hard, and you can get all the dreams that you want. Well, it was economic times similar to what we're in right now, where I started my career. And guess what happened? Boom, out of the job that I went to school for and was so excited for, and then reality happened. So I think you have to follow your authentic self and your dreams and your heart. And if that says go out there and make something happen, you got to figure out a way to go out and make something happen. How do you do that? You surround yourself by people that are going to help you get that, and you help them get what they need. And that's the best way I can stay authentic to myself.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to finding the support, asking for what it is that you need, and supporting and surrounding yourself with people that mirror that to you, that give that back to you. That's what we have here at the KS Media. We always support each other in this way, and it's a really beautiful group. And that's why we're bringing you these shows, these podcasts, these panel discussions, so that you can get to know us better, and that you can see what we're all about, and you can see that we truly are here to help you uplift and make your life better. So let me ask one of our newest founding members, which is Julia. We have Julie and Julia. So Julia, how is the authentic self? What does that mean to you?
Well, I've really enjoyed listening to all of the other answers. And for me, it's first of all about safety, being safe enough to be able to hold myself, that I can be authentic. And it looks like something different at different times. You talked about vulnerability, and it made me think of times where the emotion was so strong in me that even though I was scared, I had to speak up. Even though I was flooding with tears, there was something that I had to get out. I had to say it, even though I was crying and shaking. Or other times when I was in a meeting, and very spontaneously, I had to stand on a chair in front of everybody, and it was a big meeting. Or other times when also I was singing out loud or dancing. So safety, something about spontaneity and being curious, like what wants to be, what needs to be, what has to be expressed in this moment. And then something about being true to oneself over the span of a lifetime. When I was little, I knew without doubt that I would one day write a book. And my life hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of difficult times. And that I have managed to do that, to write what wanted to be written, is a form of authenticity, of living that authenticity. I mean, it's amazing to have been able to make that transformational journey and to show up now as I am. So when I was younger, I always felt this bigness inside. Now I'm able to be that bigness out and proud. I'm not holding it in for fear as other people have said, of what other people might say or think or behave. It's a juicy topic. It's good to be authentic.
Yes, and you definitely have taken up your bigness and taken up the room in the energy. Totally feel the authentic self speaking through you, coming out of you. I'm so glad that you're here in our community, that you joined us. It's wonderful to have you, as it is wonderful to have all of you here. We want to thank you today for listening to this panel podcast. Be sure again to join us again in a couple of weeks when we bring you the next one. And be sure to join us in our beloved 7-day experience, 7 days a week, to download the KS Media app and join us, these beloved people that are here to support you, to help you make your life better. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.